Think you know Suzy? The actress with the serene smile, serene beauty, and gaze that seems to hide 1,000 secrets. But what if I told you that behind her new drama, the long-awaited GenieMakeAWish, is there a story no one has told properly yet? A mix of unexpected twists, behind-the-scenes changes, rumors of creative tension, and even small gestures of humanity that reveal who she really is off-camera. That's what we're going to talk about today, and you'll realize that what you're about to see is much deeper than it seems. The funny thing is that this drama started to make a splash. Even before debuting, fans around the world are trying to understand why Netflix invested so much in this production and what really motivated Suzy's reunion with Kim Woo-bin 9 years later, uncontrollably fond of. But the truth is that a lot has happened since then. The Suzy audiences will see now is different. She's matured, taken risks in difficult roles, faced criticism, and returned determined to prove that she's not just Korea's sweetheart, but an actress capable of telling an intense story, full of nuances and hidden emotions. And that's exactly why, before you press play on this new drama, it's essential to understand what's happening behind the scenes, the decisions, the risks, and the hidden messages that influence it. Genie, make a wish, much more than a simple wish-making story. So, give me a like, subscribe to the channel, and join me, because what you discover today could completely change your perspective on Suzy and even the very meaning of making a wish. Suzy's new drama, Genie, Make a Wish, it's one of the most talked about productions of the year, and with good reason. The series combines romance, fantasy, and human dilemmas in a way that promises to thrill and surprise. It officially premiered on Netflix in October 3rd, 2025, and in the first few weeks, it became a global issue. The plot revolves around Young, played by Bae Suzy, a seemingly cold and skeptical woman who ends up freeing an ancient genie played by Kim Woo-bin. But this encounter brings not only magic and desire, it also brings profound consequences that test the limits of morality, love, and humanity itself. But what does it do? Genie, Make a Wish. What's special is not just the mystical plot, it's the reunion of Suzy Woo-bin, 9 years later, uncontrollably fond of, the drama that defined a generation. Since the first images were released, fans have rekindled nostalgia and generated immense anticipation for this collaboration. The chemistry between the two, according to critics, remains strong, but now at a more mature and intense level, as if both have evolved alongside the audience. Another point that draws attention is who is behind the cameras. The screenwriter Kim Yoon-suk, responsible for hits like Elephant, The Glory, that was enough to make the series one of the most anticipated of the year. However, it wasn't all plain sailing. The original director, Lee Byung-haeon, left the Mai project at the beginning of filming and was replaced by Ahn Gil-ho, sparking speculation about creative differences. Still, the team managed to transform the turbulent backstory into a cohesive and visually stunning work. Before becoming the phenomenon she is today, Suzy traveled a path full of changes, challenges, and transformations that prepared her for the most enigmatic role of her career in Genie, Make a Wish. To understand the power of this new stage, we must go back a little in time, to 2016, when she and Kim Woo-bin conquered the public in Uncontrollably Fond of. Back then, Suzy was still seen as the sweet little girl who captivated with her beauty and innocence. But it only took a decade for her to transform into a powerful actress, capable of carrying a complex and emotionally charged drama on her own. Suzy and Woo-bin's reunion in 2025 isn't just a nostalgic gesture, it's a symbolic reconnection. In real life, both have matured, faced criticism, professional setbacks, and personal challenges. Woo-bin, who had to take a leave of absence for health reasons years ago, now returns with one of the most talked about performances of the year. And Suzy, in turn, has completely reinvented herself. After shining in productions such as Tramp, Startup, and, mainly Cave, proved that he can be delicate and intense in equal measure. In fact, it was in Cave who received international critical acclaim for playing a woman torn between lies and ambition, a role that opened the doors to deeper, more psychological roles such as Genie, Make a Wish. Another interesting detail is that, behind the scenes, fans are calling this production the drama of the reunion of destinies, as it brings together not only two stars, but also two paths marked by overcoming obstacles. This generates enormous emotional anticipation, and it's precisely the kind of energy that captivates audiences from the first episodes. Not everything in Genie, Make a Wish It was magical and tranquil. Behind the scenes, this production experienced tense moments, unexpected changes, and even controversies that sparked debate on social media. The audience only saw the brilliance on screen, but behind the scenes, there were unexpected twists worthy of a Korean drama. It all began when the original director, Lee Byung-haeon, left the project in the first weeks of recording, citing personal reasons. His departure surprised the team and the fans, as he was known for his casual and humorous style. In his place was On Gil-ho, the same director of The Glory and Happiness, which gave the story a more emotional and intense tone. This change completely transformed the tone of the series, and many believe it was what made it, GenieMakeAWish, gain more depth. But the surprises didn't end there. When the official posters were released, some critics criticized their aesthetics, claiming they contained misinterpreted cultural symbolism. The uproar was so intense that Suzy had to speak out. She elegantly declared, "I'm sure there's a reason for everything." The enigmatic and serene response made headlines and made audiences realize that the production was far more intentional than it seemed at first glance. And in fact, every visual element of the series, the colors, the lighting, the clothing, was designed to reflect the character's internal conflict between desire and guilt. Even under all the pressure, Suzy demonstrated exemplary professionalism. During filming, she even give up your own caravan. Having a child actress take a break between scenes was a simple gesture, but one that delighted the entire crew. It's this balance of firmness and empathy that makes her one of Korea's most admired artists. When the audience finally presses play GenieMakeAWish, what appears on screen is much more than a simple romantic drama. The series is an ingenious play of metaphors, symbolism, and hidden emotions that are gradually revealed, and those who don't pay attention might miss the most shocking details. Suzy's character, K-young, she is the heart of this emotional labyrinth. At first glance, she appears cold, distant, and controlled, but every glance, every pause, and even her breath in the presence of the genius reveal a deep inner conflict. Suzy worked intensely on this role, seeking to express pain and vulnerability with subtle gestures, without the need for grand dramatic outbursts. It's a mature performance, and critics are noticing. At his side is Kim Woo-bin, who plays the mysterious Genie Devil, an ancient and powerful being, caught between good and evil, who grants the protagonist 3 wishes. However, unlike traditional stories, these wishes come at a price. The series addresses profound moral dilemmas. What would you be willing to sacrifice to achieve what you most desire? This question permeates every episode and forces viewers to reflect on the weight of their own decisions. And it is not just the story that draws attention, but also the visual elements. They are an essential part of the experience. The blue lighting in the night scenes symbolizes the past and guilt, while the golden tones represent moments of hope. Suzy's wardrobe changes according to the character's emotional state, and the necklace she wears throughout the drama has a secret meaning that is only explained at the end. These details demonstrate the extreme care taken by the production, so each scene deserves to be watched closely. But what captivates viewers most is the contrast between fantasy and reality. Behind the magic of wishes, the series tells the story of loneliness, regret, and forgiveness. It's a human portrait disguised as a supernatural tale. And of course, the chemistry between Suzy and Woo-bin brings it to life. They don't need to say much. A glance is enough to convey the tension and emotion. After discovering everything that happens behind the scenes, GenieMakeAWish. One thing is clear. This series isn't just about desires, but about what happens when they become all too real. Suzy gives one of the most moving performances of her career, playing a woman torn between what she desires and what she fears losing. Each episode reveals new parts of her past, K-young, and with each revelation, the audience better understands why she seems so distant and at the same time so fragile. The drama speaks to something we all understand, the struggle between what we dream of and what we must give up to achieve it. Behind-the-scenes footage also reveals why the final result was so intense. The crew took a cinematic approach, using high-definition cameras, real-life sets, and a specially composed soundtrack to amplify the emotion of each scene. The title track, performed by Suzy herself, became a hit in its own right, charting on Korean digital charts and reinforcing the story's melancholic tone. It's impossible not to get goosebumps when she sings while the lights on set reflect her character's inner conflict. And despite all the controversy, the public is reacting passionately. GenieMakeAWish, it was one of Netflix's most watched series in over 40 countries and has already racked up millions of views. Fans comment on the hidden messages, suggested alternate endings, and theories about the genie's true meaning. Is it a blessing or a curse? So, before you watch it, Prepare to immerse yourself in a drama that combines fantasy, philosophy, and real emotion. And if you want to understand every symbol, every clue, and every secret hidden in this story, leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell, because there is still a lot of analysis, curiosity, and revelation about Suzy's hidden universe and her new drama.